In this presentation, I'm going to share my personal review of the film Schindler's List, through analysing the film's relationship to reality and critically reflecting on the film's message about war. I will also share a reading by Martina Gradska, which discusses the suffering of women in the Krakow ghettos at the time of Hitler's reign and how this connects to my understanding of the film. The film Schindler's List depicts the horrors of the Holocaust and the Nazis' attempts to rid the world of Jewish people and others that the state considered undesirable. This took part in World War II, which went from 1933 to 1945. One man stood apart from the Nazi Party and helped in saving the lives of over 1,100 Jewish people. His name was Oskar Schindler. Schindler does everything in his power to save his factory workers. This depicts his compassionate nature, as he was able to stand apart from the Nazi Party members and give refuge to as many Jews as he could. At a time like this action was frowned upon by many. The film follows a strong connection to the history of the Holocaust and highlights the terrors that these people had to endure. Polish Jews were being forced from their homes to ghettos, concentration camps, or even to be killed on the spot. In the Krakow ghettos, Jewish people were pushed into disgusting living conditions, often many bodies in tiny places. This film accurately depicts the introduction and the use of these ghettos, connecting it to the harsh reality that these people had unfortunately lived. A strong connection that this film makes to reality is at the conclusion of the film, where the actor or actress is pictured with the Jewish survivors today, reinforcing to the audience that the stories within the film are in fact real, and these are the people who had to live through it all. This film was able to showcase to the audience the harsh realities that come with war, and how these people had to live their everyday lives under the power of Hitler and his rise to a new Germany. Strong themes that arose from this film are the brutality and abuse of power that Nazi officials had used to dehumanize Jewish people. There are multiple kinds of power witnessed in the film, the main being Amon Goeth, and how his character is one built on power and fear. Amon Goeth is a reflection of the war, as he showcases the themes that arise. Contrary to Goeth, Schindler's character is the representative of respect and how this can be showcased during the darkest of times. The companion reading that was chosen is called Jewish Women in the Krakow Ghetto and is by Martina Gradska. This reading illustrates the working and living conditions within the Krakow ghettos, especially by the female gender. In these ghettos, people between the age of 14 to 16 years of age were subject to forced labour. Females worked in various places, irrespective from their backgrounds of education, in order to survive and support or feed their families. Women were also active in the resistance movement organised in the ghetto, often holding high positions. The ability to work for everybody was a decisive factor, assessed on the basis of age and general health, as they would ultimately all die anyway, so it didn't matter where they ended up. The activity of the working enterprises in the ghettos conformed to a German plan of using Jews as cheap labour force. This is shown within the film, as Schindler believes the war is good for money, and thus uses Jews at his factory, but once he is aware of their mistreatment, his mind obviously changes. In the film, Schindler was able to save around 800 Jewish men and 300 Jewish women. This emphasises Gradska's point that initially, no women were made to work in factories, but after 1942, women were gradually introduced into this occupation. This is a reason as to why there is a distinct difference in the amount of females and males saved by Schindler. This reading was able to showcase to the reader the experiences of females at the time of the Holocaust and how they were placed into jobs and forced labour. The reading influenced my thinking of the film, as I was able to dive deeper into the roles of females at the Krakow ghettos, which were shown within the movie.